Good morning, Isla. Good morning, Summer. Good morning, Isla. Good morning, Fatima. Good morning, John Paul. Good morning, Aman. Good morning, Sky. You had another amazing English lesson, didn't you? I learned so much from those lessons as well. It is true. When we heard schools were coming back, we were hoping it would be Year 5, but Year 6 got in there before us. Fingers crossed it'll be us soon. And of course, today's lesson is pupil voice. So it's over to you. There were, I think, about 4 topics that came back that you wanted me to cover. So I'm covering 2 in this lesson, and I'll cover 2 before the quiz on Thursday. When we do Thursday lessons, I always feel like it's Friday and I've finished for the week when I've closed the lesson down. But it's not. Oh, wow, Isla, you're in school every Thursday and Friday, so we can pop down and see you on Thursday when I come in. Right then, so let's start. So today is Tuesday the 19th of May. I don't know where the last 5 weeks have gone, to be perfectly honest. And I still get really scared when I do these lessons, but maybe one day they'll just be second nature to me. I'm all right when I record the videos for you that go on your work. But I get very, very nervous with these live lessons. But let's start. So first of all, we're going to revisit multiplying and dividing by 10, 100 and 1,000. And I'm not going to spend too long on this because I do think it's something that we can get rather quickly and just revisit and get ready for your quiz on Thursday, because anything that we've covered will be in your quiz. So today's learning outcomes. To understand place value, I say that all the time, don't I? Place value. It is so important in everything we do in maths. To use the correct strategy to multiply and divide by 10, 100 and 1,000, and to be able to multiply and divide accurately by 10, 100 and 1,000. Good morning, Danielle. So, as always, we're going to start off with our maths teaser. So let's get our brains switched on to numbers instead of commas and see what happens. So sheep. This one is called sheep. You planted sunflower seeds in your back garden. Every day the number of flowers doubles. If it takes 52 days for the flowers to fill the garden, how many days would it take for them to fill half the garden? Morning, Jay, just in time for our teaser. So you planted sunflower seeds in your back garden, and every day the number of flowers doubles. So it takes 52 days for the flowers to fill the garden. How many days would it take for them to fill half the garden? Over to you. Otherwise the answer will come up. Morning, Cole. Just in time for our maths teaser. Oh, I look first in there, but you know it's never that easy. It's a teaser that I've given you, and it's never a straightforward answer. So you might want to go back and reread it and think about it. Good morning, Solomon. Again, Danielle, do you want to reread it? Think closely about what it's saying. Jay and Sky, I'm catching you all out. I'm in the lead at this moment in time. Good morning, Safi. Oh, this one's got you. I love it. Is there anyone who's going to crack my teaser today? I probably need to put my pointer on so that'll help us. Good morning, Alex. Oh, John Paul, that is very, very close. But it takes 52 days for the flowers to fill the garden. We only want half the garden. It has to be in days for me, Aman, please. Oh, I think I might have caught you out. Well and truly caught you out today. You were closer the first time, John Paul. I'll give you a few more minutes and we'll see if anyone can beat me today. John Paul was almost there. He was so very, very close. I'll give you a clue. If every day the number of flowers doubles and it takes 52 days, 52 days for the garden to fill, how many days would it take for half the garden to fill? So think about it. The number doubles every day. So at 52 days, the flowers have filled the garden. How many days to fill half the garden? This one's going to be a Miss Purcell winner, I think. No, I didn't think this was that. I thought it took some thinking about, but I didn't think it was quite that difficult. Okay then. Good morning, Carries. It looks like I am going to have to put you out of your misery. And it's a win for Miss Purcell. The answer is 51. And the reason that the answer is 51 is the number of plants doubles every day. So on day 51, half the garden is full. So when half the garden is doubled on day 52, the garden is full. So on day 51, it was half full. On day 52, it was completely full because it doubled. So each day it doubled. Good morning, Akmal. So sorry I caught you out with that one, but I like that one. It did make me think I have to do all of these before I give them on to pass them on to you. And I did think that somebody might have got it, but not quite. Never mind. Better luck next time. I think we'll have to have a competition next half term to see how many maths teasers you can win compared with whether I can stump you or not. Okay, so our previous learning, what you need to know. You need to know place value, that good old thing that I bang on about, and that's the second time this lesson that I've actually gone on about that. How many places left or right to move when we're multiplying, dividing by 100, 10, 100 and 1,000, and why you do not just add or take away a zero when we multiply by 10, 100 and 1,000. That's really important that we know that. So let's have a look. What we have previously learned, when we multiply by 10, we move one place value to the left. And if you remember, I showed you that thing, whereas if you hold your hands up in front of you and put your thumbs down, for those of you who are not sure about left and right, if you do that, the hand that has got the L shape facing the correct way, as if you were writing, is your left hand. So that's the direction that you need to move when you are looking down at your place value chart. Okay, so I've got the number 53.6. Okay, 53.6, and I am going to multiply 53.6 by 10. So that means each one of my digits will move one place value. And always a clue to how many places you need to move is how many zeros. So if you are multiplying by 10, you're moving one place to the left. If you multiply by 100, there's two zeros, so it's two places to the left. You multiply by 1,000, three zeros, so it's three places to the left. So there's lots of clues that you can use to help you. So 53.6. So if I move my place value, it becomes 536. And I don't need a decimal place here or zero as a placeholder because this is a whole number. We only need a decimal point and a placeholder if our number isn't whole. Okay, so I don't need my decimal point in this instance. So because I've made a whole number, 536. So your turn, over to you. What will this number become when we multiply it by 10? 69.7. Using the example that I've just gone through with you, have a go and tell me what that number will become when we multiply by 10, using the fact that there's only one zero in 10 to help us if we're not sure. You might want to draw a grid if you've got one. Oh, well done, Summer. Thank you very much. First answer correct. Amy, if your live stream isn't working, come out of it and go back in. You find that sometimes works. Danielle J. Isla, well done. Oh, John Paul, be careful. What's going to happen to this 7? Paris, well done. Maisie, well done. Good morning, Maisie. Well done, Sky. So our whole number, we create a whole number when we multiply 69.7 by 10, and it becomes 697. The 7 moving across. And we don't need a 0 as a placeholder in this instance. So we've created a whole number, and our whole number is 697. Well done, Aman. So, again, what have we previously learned? When we multiply by 100, we move two place values to the left, and 0 moves in as a placeholder. So 53.6. If I multiply 53.6 by 100, 100 has two zeros, so I know I have got to move two place values. I have to move two place values to the left. So I'm multiplying, so my number is always going to be greater than I started with. So my number will become 5,360, and I now have 0 as a placeholder because 5 tens became 5,000s, 3 units became 300s, 6 tenths became 6 tens, so I need 0 in my units column as a placeholder. So of course, it's going straight over to you. What will this number become when we multiply it by 100? Well done, Isla. Well done, John Paul. Well done, Akmal. Well done, Summer. Well done, Lexi. Well done, Jay. Well done, Caris. Well done, Sky. Isla was there with fastest finger with that answer. Well done, Maisie. Any more before I show the answer? Oh, be careful, Aman. You're moving 2 places if you've got 2 zeros in as placeholder. So my answer was 1,820. So this, of course, is just a revision, going back over what some of you found a little bit more challenging, but I can see from your answers that at the moment you've got it, you're flying through this, and that's why I thought you would, and that's why I haven't spent lots of time on this. So we have previously learned when we multiply by 1,000, we move 3 place value to the left that way, and 0 moves in as a placeholder. So I can use what I know. 3 zeros in 1,000 means I've got to move 3 places. Okay, so 30.7. It's going, my digits are going to move 3 places. So my 3 is going to go 3 places along. My 0 is going to go 3 places along. My 7/10 is going to go 3 places along. So let's have a look. 30,700. This time I've got 2 zeros as placeholders because my digits moved on and I had no value in my tens and no value in my units. So I had to move in 0 as a placeholder. So, of course, I'm going straight back over to you. So 25.5, what does 25.5 become when we multiply by 1,000? Looking for the fastest finger. Over to you. Well done, Summer. Well done, Isla, Akmal, Aman, Jay, John Paul, Lexi. Well done. Maisie, well done. Harris, well done. Well done, Sky. So, Summer, you were there. Fastest finger that time. So the answer was 25,500. So 25.5 multiplied by 1,000 will become 25,500. So we're going to look at divide now. So when we divide by 10, 100 and 1,000, we do the opposite of multiplying and move place value to the right. That means that our number should be of less value than we started with. We shouldn't have a number of greater value if we have divided. Okay, so I've got 30.7 and I am going to divide 30.7 by 10. And so, decimal point this time, because I'm dividing by 10, my digits move across to the right. So we're going this way. So I started off with 30.7 and my final, well, now that I've multiplied, oh, I keep saying multiplied, I've got it in my head. Now that I've divided by 10, I have 3.07, which is a number that is of less value than 30.7. And I put a 0 in here just to say that even if we've got zeros in the numbers that we are working with, they still need to move. But because we're working with whole numbers, we don't need zeros in our as placeholders here. They are always there. That's how maths works. But as I keep saying over and over again, we don't write them because it would make our numbers so complicated to work with. But they are always there as invisible placeholders. But because this one is here, it's visible, it must be in our answer. So what will this number become when we divide it by 10? Over to you. Oh, my battery is running low. Ah, saved it. It's quite funny because we did actually you check how much battery life was in the laptop before we started. That is very bizarre. So, but we've saved it. We're back. We're okay. Summer, well done, fastest finger, followed by John Paul, well done, Jay, well done, Akmar, Isla, Maisie, Danielle, Lexi, Sky, you are flying through this, well done. 7.13. So now let's divide by 100. Who can tell me how many place values I need to move if I'm dividing by 100? Over to you. Who can tell me how many place value I need to move to the right if I'm dividing by 100? Excellent, John Paul. Excellent, Summer. Excellent, Maisie. Well done, Ina. Of course, it is 2. Oh, Danielle, I think you gave it me in Spanish. My maths brain and my Spanish brain can't work at the same time, so that took me a little bit of working out. Well done, Amon and Sky. It is, of course, 2. Okay, so let's divide 6,539 by 100. So I'm going to move all of my digits to the right 2 places. So 9 will end up where? Who can tell me what column my 9 will end up in? If it's moving 2 places, what column will it end up in? Oh, you've given me the answer, Danielle, which is great. But I want to know what column my 9 will end up in. Lexi, you've given me the answer as well. Or all I wanted to know is if I'm dividing by 100, what column my 9 will end up in. Well done, Maisie and Jay and Akmal. Also, guys, you just want to check that. Well done, Isla. My 9, of course, is going to end up in the hundredths column. And I like that you're so eager that you've got the answer written down, but listen carefully to the question. So I should have an answer of 65.39. So my 9 ends up in the hundreds column. And of course, 65.39 is a number of less value than 6,539. In fact, it's 100 times less. Okay, so this one is going over to you. So 4,034 divided by 100 over to you. Well done, Summer, Akmal, John Paul, Lexi, smashing it out there. And John Paul, I'm really pleased about how well you're doing this because you're one of the children that asked me if I would go over this again. So not only are you getting it, but you are coming out in the top 2 or 3 fastest fingers all the time. Well done, Jay, Danielle, Maisie, Sky. So let's have a look. 40.34. So all of our digits have moved 2 places. Oh, I don't know what I did on this slide, but I've got decimal places still there. I think I might have given you the answer there. I think I might have forgot to animate this decimal place. So over to 65,190 divided by 1,000, please. At least you'll know you need a decimal place there because it's there already. Maybe I should have put my pointer over the top and just pretended it was my pointer. Well done, Iman, for getting the last one correct. Well done. Oh, lots of right answers. Akmal, you the fastest finger. You're on fire this morning, followed by Maisie. Well done. Summer, Lexi, Danielle. Oh, Danielle. I'm not sure whether you just typed quickly and your decimal place. Just check your decimal place for me, Danielle. John Paul, well done. Okay, I'll just give you 30 more seconds and then we will reveal the answer. Oh, Jay, what's happened to this hundreds number in your answer? It should have moved with the rest of them. I'll just give you a chance to check that before I put the reveal the correct answer. What I love about it is the answers that you've given me as well, is that in my answer, I kept the 0 in my answer. That's it, Danielle, thank you. I kept the 0 in my answer, but none of you have, which is amazing. Well done. So the answer is 65.19. And I put the 0 in just to trick you all. It's okay, Jay, thank you. But it's not wrong if the 0 is there. It's not a wrong answer, but we don't really need it because we have no thousands, and so we can just show that by leaving out the 0. So well done. So that's our whirlwind tour through multiplying by 10, 100 and 1,000 and dividing by 10, 100 and 1,000. And I hope that's made it clearer for those of you that requested that we went back and had a look at that. So now, rounding to the nearest 10, 100 and 1,000. Now, when we did the live lesson of this, quite a few of you did struggle more so with this concept of rounding than any other concept that we've looked at. So hopefully I've left myself enough time to go over rounding to the nearest 10, 100 and 1,000. And here I've given us an explanation as to why we need to, why it's an important skill. So rounding numbers is an important skill because it can help us check our answers when adding and subtracting. If we can round a number, it makes it easier to estimate an answer to a calculation. So if you've got a calculation, if you can round it very quickly, it can give you an idea of where your answer will fall into. And then your estimate will be more accurate, and then your answer will be more accurate. And for this, and this is where I'm going to get a bit panicky now, I'm going to leave this screen and I am going to present to you using the board because I feel that that's where I can help support you more. So if I remember how to do this, I go to that screen and I stop presenting, and that should get us it's okay. You'll show it, won't it? Yeah, there we go. Right, I'm just waiting for us to catch up, just so that I know where I am and I can see what you can see on the screen. Fingers crossed. Right then, so rounding. When we round a number to the nearest 10, we have to think about where it will fall on a number line. That will help us. So, for instance, round to the nearest 10. So 36. Okay. If I want to round to the nearest 10, then I have to look at the units column. Okay. And if you remember, we learned a rhyme: 1, 2, 3, 4, bend your knees and touch the floor. And so if I have a 1 to 4, then I need to round my number down. And I think this is where a lot of you are struggling with rounding, because we say round down, and that is the mathematical way, but I'm not sure that that's as clear as understanding as we need. So because it's a 6, I know I'm going to need to round up. But I'm going to, screen has gone here, I'm going to draw myself a number line, and I'm going to put 35 here. Who can tell me what two multiples 36 comes between? What two multiples of 10 does 36 come between? It's lovely to have you back, Amy. Excellent, Lexi, thank you. You are correct. My 36 will come between 30 and 40. Those are the two multiples that 36 falls between. I put 35 on my number line because it's halfway between. Oh, Marcel, you can't see, it's a bit blurry. I'll try and move it a bit closer, if that helps. And if I put 36 on my number line then, I know that 36 is closer to 40 than it is to 30. So 36 would round to 40. When we're rounded by 10, we can tell because we have a 0 in the units column. So we're rounded to the nearest 10 by having a 0 in the units column. Right, so we'll have a look at another one. Now brought the board closer. And I'm going to come over to you. I am going to use the number 82. And I'm still rounding to 10. I'm still rounding to the nearest 10. So who can tell me what two multiples of 10 82 will fall between? Oh, thank you, Atma. I have to keep moving across the screen to see that one. I should swap them round, really. Well done, Summer. Well done, John Paul. Well done, Amy. Well done, Lexi. Well done, Danielle. Well done, Maisie. 80 will fall between 82, sorry, 80 and 90 on a number line. Then I always try and get midway and decide where my midway point on my number line will be. So then I can think, oh, well, 82 would be here. So if I'm going to round 82 to the nearest 10, it's closer. Which multiple is it closest to? It's closest to 80. So 82 rounded to the nearest 10 is 80. And I know I've rounded to the nearest 10 because I have a 0 in my units column. Okay, so 80 rounded to the 82 rounded to the nearest 10 is 80. Okay, and I'm going to be flicking through lots of paper today, which I will make sure that I recycle. But we're going to have a look at another number. This time we'll look at 125. Now 125 still falls between multiples of 10. It will fall between 120 and what? Who can tell me what my other multiple of 10 it will be? That's a nice easy one for you to get you started. Excellent, John Paul. Thank you, Isla, Akmal, Danielle, Amy. Let's see, Summer. It will be 130. However, 125, now my rule is that I always put my halfway mark, and 125 is halfway between 120 and 130. So what do I round it to? What can I use as my clue? Maybe the rhyme that I learned. So who can tell me? I'm in the middle, right in the middle of 120 and 130. What will I round 125 to? Excellent, Amy, thank you. Answers coming through. Summer, well done. John Paul, well done. Yes, I will round 125 to 130 because my 5 tells me I still have to round my number up. So we'll try and discuss the issue of rounding down. We say rounding down because the number becomes less than we started with. So it's kind of, when we round down, we're going less than, but to the multiple that we started with. So 120 would start our counting 121, 122, 123, etc. So we round down because we come back down the number line, but our tens number would stay the same. Unless we're doing far trickier one, rounding than we're doing at the moment. So that's why it's down, because we're coming back down the number line. And so I'll show you what I mean in terms of, because I've written my number line horizontally, but my number line doesn't have to be horizontal. It can be vertical. So I can have a number line that looks like that. So if I had the number 1,457, what multiples of 10 would I need to label on my number line? Excellent, lots of good explanations for the last question. Just in case you can't see my number clearly, it is 1,457. Now remember, I've asked for multiples of 10. So what multiples of 10? Because I'm rounding to the nearest 10, I need a multiple of 10. Thank you, Isla. 1460 is one of them. Thank you, Amy. 1450 is the other. So 1457 falls between 1450 and 1460 if we're looking for 10. So my halfway line is approximately here. So my halfway number will be 1455. So 1457 is up here. So I am going, it is closer to 1460, so I am rounding up. Because if it was a 2 here, then I would come down my number line. So don't get confused by the down. It means that this number will fall between itself, its tens, its hundreds, its thousands, and it will increase here. Right, so let's have a look at rounding to the nearest 100. So we'll take the number 156 and we'll round to the nearest 100. So this time we've got to think about what multiples of 100 does 156 come between. So obviously it comes between 100 and 200. And I would say 150 would be about there. That's halfway between 100 and 200. So then my jump would be a little smaller because I'm jumping through. I need 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 to get to 200. So 50, 55, 156. The 156 is closer to 200 than it is to 100. So 156 rounded to the nearest 100 is 200. Okay. And we know we've rounded to the nearest 100 because we now have 2 zeros in our answer. So let's have a look. We'll go over to you, and I would like you. This is a lot of paper today. You'll tell me off later when you're in your science lesson. I would like you to round 215 to the nearest 100. Oh, Atmal's there straight away. I think he got there before I even actually finished writing the calculation. Well done, Atmal. Well done, Summer. Well done, Isla. Oh, do you want to check that for me, John Paul? Because you're right, it will fall between 200 and 300. But think about this number here. Does that tell us that we round up or down? Let's just check that, Amy. Yes. Cole, Maisie, well done. Wasim. Oh, Wasim, hello. John Paul, yeah. So 215 would be roughly around, yeah. So it would round down 200. Okay. And when we say round down, the hundreds number stays the same. Okay, so we're not changing the hundreds number. It's our tens and units number that alters. Okay, so you found that one really easy. So let's have a look if I put another number line. I'm trying to save paper. And I'm going to give you the number 1,670. Which 200s will it come between? Which 200s, what will I have to label on my number line to get this? Who can tell me? Over to you. What will I have to label on my number line? Multiples of 100. Well done, Isla. That's one of them. John Paul, excellent. Well, careful, Lexi. Think about the multiples of 100 that 1,670 falls between. Well done, Summer. That's one of them. So let's have a look. It falls between 1,700 and 1,600. Okay, so who can tell me what 1,670 rounded to the nearest hundred is? And remember, your tens number is the clue. When you are rounding to the nearest hundred, always look at your tens number as the clue as to whether you round up or down. Well done, Summer. Think about what I said, Isla. Think about this number. Does it round up or down? That number in your tens column. Well done, John Paul. Well done, Maisie. Well done, Summer. If I was to put my 1,670 on the number line, it might be round about here. So I am closer to 1,700. But my 7 in my tens column also tells me that I need to round up. And the next multiple of 100 after 1,670 is 1,700. Well done. Right, I'm going to rush. I've got lots of examples here, but we're running out of time today. And we were hoping that we might get a special guest through the door, but the person is very, very busy. So, right, so rounding to the nearest 1,000. Okay, so if we take, so we'll round to the nearest 1,000. Okay, round to the nearest 1,000. So I've got the number 2,352. So this time I've got to think about the thousands that my 2,352 falls between. So I've got 2,000, and I know it's 2,000 because I've got a 2 in the 1,000 column. So it must be 3,000 up here. Okay. So this time, when I'm looking to see whether I need to round up or down, it's my hundreds number. It's this number here I need to look at. And also, because I'm rounding to the nearest 1,000, then I must have zeros in my hundreds, tens, and units column in my answer as well. And because I've got a 3 here, you can give me a quick shout as to whether I'm going to round up or down. Just type in up or down. Akmal and Amy have given me the answer already. Excellent, John Paul. Excellent, Amy. Excellent, Summer. So if I write 2,500 here, I know 300 comes before 500. I think 2,300 would roughly be there. Obviously, my number line isn't accurate, so I know that it is closer to 2,000, so that I am going to round down, and my answer is 2,000. And I know that I've rounded to the nearest thousand because I now have zeros in those columns. So let's go over to you. I'll give you the number 3,892, and I would like you to round that number to the nearest thousand. And remember, it's your hundreds number that is the clue in this. So let's see who can get me the correct answer first. Oh, lots of correct answers. Summer, John Paul, Maisie, Amy, Akmal, Lexi. So I know that 3,892 comes between thousands numbers of 3,000 and 4,000. I could draw my number line, but I also know 8 tells me I need to round up. So I need to go to my thousands. That is the greatest value, not the least value. Okay, so that I can get everything back to how it should be. Okay, so we are almost out of time for our maths lesson. You have been amazing today. I hope those whistle tops, oh, I can't say it, whistle stop tours through those two mathematical concepts you wanted to explore yourselves has helped you, and it has helped secure your understanding, and that you now feel more confident in tackling your multiplying and dividing by 10, 100 and 1,000 and rounding by up to the nearest 10, 100 and 1,000. And I hope that's really, really helped you. I have put on your to-do complete doodle activities for English and math. Obviously, your English is your 5 a day, which just keeps your skills toned up, and your maths. Now, your math activity isn't actually rounding or multiplying by 10, 100 and 1,000. It's all of your skills. So there's some questions in there that you have to use to help you, that ask you to round a number, to estimate an answer, and to use your addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division skills, which are all for that. So have a good afternoon, and don't get rushed into English just yet. Have a break, because I haven't loaded up the English sheet that you need to write on, because I think it's important that you have a break. So have a break, have some lunch, enjoy a little bit of the sunshine, and I'll see you already for quiz day on Thursday. Have a lovely day, and I will see you soon. Bye.